Welcome to Sunday Brunch. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Caitlin Bird. I'm the owner of Caitlin's Animal Training Services, as well as the lead trainer for the program, The Unstoppable Service Dog. Welcome, guys, so much. I'm so glad to have you here. Now, I'm trying something new. I'm putting in headphones. So when we're watching any videos, please let me know down in the comments below if you can hear them or not. Then if you can't, I'll just unplug it real quick and make sure we can all enjoy it together. So, I found a couple of interesting news stories this week that I want to talk to you guys about, especially for those of you with service dogs. So a lot of you do know me for the service dog work that I do and the people that I help train their own service dogs to be fully reliable companions, and they just know what to do automatically. There's no nagging. You don't have to keep telling your dog to leave it. You don't have to keep telling your dog to focus on you, because it happens when it needs to happen, okay? So, very first thing, oh, by the way, guys, as a reminder, please allow StreamYard permission so that when you are commenting on this post, I can see who's commenting. And if you don't, then otherwise all I see is, user commented this, and I don't know who's commenting. So please make sure to give StreamYard permission. All right, so the very first article I wanted to go over today, let me get myself smaller here. There we go. A little smaller there. This happened Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday, December 2nd. So this happened a couple days ago, where if you guys have not heard and you have a service dog or an emotional support animal, listen up. This is for you, okay? So at the beginning of this year, on January 18th, somewhere around there, the DOT updated their flight guidelines, which I went over with throughout the year for you guys. Now they have edited those flight guidelines, and this is the final ruling based on the feedback they've gotten from many people and organizations across the country. So there are some really important updates, and we're going to go over them right here, okay? So this is directly from the transportation.gov website. So this is the reliable source and the source to go to if you're looking for information about traveling with your emotional support animal or service dog. So they go on to say the U.S. Department of Transportation announced that it is revising its Air Carrier Access Act, the ACAA, regulation on the transportation of service animals by air to ensure a safe and accessible air transportation system. The final rule is traveling by air with service animals can be found here. So I'll be making sure, here we go. I'll send a link to you guys. I want to put it here in, let me know if that link shows up. So I just put it in the chat. Oh, it's showing up on YouTube. That's interesting. What if I did this? Hold up, I'm gonna go straight to Facebook and put it in the chat for you guys. Okay, there's one. And of course, you put it in the service dog prep group too, which is important. And there's two. Okay, so everybody should have the link now to the final ruling with the service dogs here. Okay. Oh, puppy wants to cache his treat, so he's whining in the background. I might have to take that treat away if he keeps it up. Okay, so really to give you a quick rundown about this, what this is primarily, the biggest part of this that a lot of people are buzzing about is a response to people abusing emotional support animals in the system. Okay, I'm not talking about physical abuse. I'm talking about abusing rights and privileges. Because if people don't know the law and if people don't follow the law, or if people are cheating the law, then the law is going to have to get more strict. And guess what? That's what this is about. Because people for years and years and years now have been abusing the emotional support animal status, and they've been taking their untrained pets onto airlines for free, because otherwise it's something like a $50 to $200 charge, depending on where you go and who you use, right? So They go on to say the department received more than 15,000 comments on the notice of proposed rulemaking. The final rule announced today addresses concerns raised by individuals with disabilities, airlines, flight attendants, airports, and other aviation stakeholders and other members of the public regarding service animals on aircraft. So the final ruling, this is kind of your quick thing, so you don't have to like go over 15 pages of papers, right? So the final rule is it defines a service animal as a dog. Okay, as a dog that is individually trained to do work or perform tasks for the benefit of a person with a disability. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. I want to address that one. Number 2, no longer considers emotional support animals to be a service animal. Great, they were never service animals. They're under the characteristic of assistance animals. Requires airlines to treat psychiatric service animals as the same as other service animals, which... oh my gosh. Do you remember me complaining last year back in January about how they were treating psychiatric service animals as practically like ESAs? They required paperwork and all this other stuff. Good. They've revised that. The next point is allows airlines to require forms developed by DOT attesting to a service animal's health, behavior, and training, and if taking a long flight attesting that the service animal can either not relieve itself or can relieve itself in a sanitary manner. So this one in particular is interesting. I've actually searched the DOT website and they do not have any forms developed for this particular process yet. Okay, I'm assuming it will roll out sometime early next year. There hasn't been any confirmation of when that's going to be coming. Okay, so the next one is allows airlines to require individual traveling with the service animal to provide the DOT service animal forms up to 48 hours in advance of the date of travel if the passenger's reservation was made prior to that time. It also adds in prohibits airlines from requiring passengers with a disability who are traveling with a service animal to physically check in at the airport instead of using an online check-in process. So you can also check in online with your service animal. It also allows airlines to require a person with a disability seeking to travel with a service animal to provide the DOT service forms at the passenger's departure gate on the date of travel. So you are going to have whatever forms the DOT cooks up in the next few months with you. It allows airlines to limit the number of service animals with a disability. So you can only have each one person with a disability can have 2 service animals with them, which I think is more than generous. So that's interesting. Next one is allows airlines to require a service animal to fit within its handler's foot space on the aircraft. Now that's going to be tough because some people do have larger support animals. So if you're traveling with a Great Dane, that is not going to be possible. Allows airlines to require that service animals be harnessed, leashed, or tethered at all times in the airport and on aircraft, which... again, there could be some issues with this one because some tasks are tough for somebody if you can't have like your dog on a leash, right? So some people, can't have their dogs constantly on the leash based on the tasks that they need. So this one's still kind of up for debate, right? I don't think this is perfect. By no means do I think any of this is perfect, but I do think it's a step in the right direction. And then the last 2 continues to allow airlines to refuse transportation of service animals that exhibit aggressive behavior, good, and that pose a direct threat to the health or safety of others. Now, this is something that's always been there, right? Particularly around locally, if you're in a store, right? The ADA says if an animal isn't performing to task, isn't behaving itself, you can kick it out anyway, right? So that's something that's already been put forth by the ADA. This is just kind of reiterating some of the points that some people may not have, been educated on the topic on before. And the last point is continues to prohibit airlines from refusing to transport a service animal solely based on breed. Okay, so the final rule will be effective 30 days after date of publication in the Federal Register. Okay, so this is going to be effective in January 2nd, because that's, isn't that 30 days? Wait, let me double check. Oh, okay. So what? January 1st? January 1st. It's going to be effective in the new year. So again, I posted the link to the final ruling, which is a nice little PDF here on this page, down in the comments below. So if you want to go see that, check out the comments and you can download the actual reading. Now, the first thing on here I wanted to discuss is that defines a service animal as a dog that's individually trained to do work or perform a task for the benefit of a person with a disability. I do have a minor gripe with this, and it's not minor in some people's minds, because do you remember the people with trained service miniature horses? Do you remember them? They are not an emotional support animal. I was actually watching a news story from Fox News, which, Lord help us all, and they got a lot of things wrong in their story. At least the newscasters who were trying to convey this information were having misinformation. Go figure, right? And, I wasn't really happy with how they're saying, oh, some people try to bring a horse on, but there are trained miniature horses for service work. So I do have a gripe with a service animal is defined as a dog that is individually trained, because some people are allergic to dogs, but they need a service animal for maybe mobility work. And what's more sturdy than a miniature horse for mobility work, right? They can't get up and down stairs. They need to get up and down. It's hard to move, right? So I understand why they put this rule in place, because they're having issues with people bringing on pigs and peacocks and untrained squirrels and things like of this nature, right? People are literally bringing on any animal onto this plane because they're their pets, right? They're their emotional support animals. But you're hurting the people who actually need a miniature horse. So I do have a gripe with this. I don't personally work with anybody who has a miniature horse, but I know there are going to be people who have a problem with this. Let's see, no longer considers emotional support animal to be a service animal. Great, no problem with that one. Requires airlines to treat psychiatric service animals the same as other service animals. Great, I'm glad. That's a huge improvement from last time. Allows airlines to require forms developed by DOT. Yeah, okay, so that's coming. So guys, in January, keep your eye on the Department of Transportation's website so that we can see what they're talking about. Like, what does the form talk about? Who needs to be looking over this form? I've had people come to me recently saying, oh my gosh, like, what is this form going to be doing, right? And to that say, I don't know yet. I don't know who's going to have to go over looking over that form. I'm assuming, I think I read it in here, right? Service animal final rule. If you want more information, definitely go download this PDF. But I read on the DOT website somewhere where it would most likely be like a flight attendant, someone just saying that, oh, okay, that dog's at least following commands and it isn't rowdy and, is well behaved. So some people were asking me like, oh, I think, does that mean like we're going to need like a trainer to come assess our dog? And I'm like, I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. But if it does, that's going to take me by surprise. So again, everything is in that PDF over here. And the link is down in the comments below. It also prohibits airlines from requiring passengers with a disability who are traveling with a service animal to physically check in. That one's going to be interesting because they are going to have to fill in the form 48 hours earlier, but that probably means before they get on the plane, somewhere in the process, they just need to like have someone look over and say like, okay, that's your dog, he's good. And you also have to sign. I love the part where they said you have to sign that your dog can either relieve themselves in a specific area or can hold their bladder and hold themselves for an 8-hour flight if you're on an 8-hour flight. And I mean, some of the stories that I was hearing about in developing this ruling was ridiculous. I mean, just the amount of animals that were causing issues and the kinds of animals, the kinds of issues that they were doing, it was just absolutely insane. So what do you guys think? Is this for the better? Is this a step in the right direction? Do you agree with everything? Do you not like some of these rules? What do you guys think? Indy says may require a CGC test. I don't know. Have you heard that from anywhere? I would hope not, because the CGC is already pretty low standard. I'm not very impressed with the CGC test. Not at all. But that's a good question. I haven't seen anything related to the CGC because that's something you're going to have to coordinate with the AKC, right? And I know the AKC is trying to hop on to the service dog train. So if they are, first and foremost, I don't know how much more upset I could ever be with the AKC. They try to stick their hands in everything. And if they, oh my God, I mean, they were earlier this year, they sent everybody out an email that has a CGC, that's a CGC instructor. If they knew anybody or trained service dogs. So they're just kind of hiring CGC instructors at this point as service dog trainers. I'm just kind of like, oh my God. Right? So if the AKC does develop some kind of service dog training program, I'm going to guarantee you I'm probably not going to be impressed with it. I'm not going to be impressed with it at all, because the amount of things that they break, like the classes that they even require for their agility, like it's so broken down and it takes so, like, I don't know, what's like 6 to 10 classes, somewhere around there. I haven't taken them all. But there's so many classes that they just try to suck out as much money out of you as possible. And they don't really, maybe it's just because I'm at a level in my life where I'm just like, I can just do behavior right off the back of my hand and not even think about it. But like, I'm not very impressed with it. I'm honestly not very impressed with it. Let's see. Nada says, I have a problem with it because I have a dog that is calmer with me rather than stay in the belly of the plane. I do have him registered as a service dog in California. Yeah, so California does have a optional service dog registry for you to add them in. But again, emotional support animals are not service animals, which they made very, very clear. And, if that's the case, you're going to have to make the best decision for you and your pet. If it is a pet, fully trained service dogs, again, when they're being assessed, shouldn't have a problem, right? It shouldn't have a problem. Okay. All right. So let's see. That was oh my gosh. We're only 16 minutes in and I feel like we've already been here for an hour talking about this. All right. So we're done with that. Now we are going to be talking about some of the dog-related news that happened throughout the week. I'll move myself down here so you guys can see. I thought this was a very cute story. This is from the Washington Post, and it's titled, "A Dog Was Missing for Weeks and It Wandered into Walmart and Found Its Owner Working at the Register." Now, I can tell you right now, from this photo that I see, I think this person is, what's her name? Deborah? Her name is Deborah. I think Deborah is the owner, because if this was my dog and I had someone coming up, looks like the manager because they're in a bright yellow, uniform, and the manager has a long line from somewhere in the store in the pet section and put in like a noose around my dog's neck, I would be there. Do you see how she has her fingers in that noose to make sure that it doesn't get too tight? That would be me and my dog. Like if I saw this tight metal rope around my dog's neck, I'd be like, no, we're going to give you some breathing room here, buddy, because you're going to choke yourself, right? So let's see. June Roundtree Wright, which is the manager, reunited with her dog Abby, who suddenly showed up in the Walmart where Roundtree works after going missing 3 weeks earlier. Oh, I guess Deborah isn't the owner. That's interesting. Okay. So this was posted 2 days ago. This was on Friday. June Roundtree and her husband circled the neighborhood night after night looking for their beloved lost Abby. Roundtree, 60, realized the dog was missing November 8th when she went to the backyard of their home in Dothan, Alabama. And instead of seeing her 4-year-old black and white dog, she was horrified to see only Abby's collar and leash, which was secured to a ground stake. Yeah, dogs can back out of collars. Unless you have a martingale on. Despite their efforts, there was no sign of Abby, and Roundtrees were beginning to lose hope. 3 weeks later, an unlikely and perhaps miraculous turn of events left them convinced Abby is either the luckiest or the smartest dog in town. Roundtree, a longtime cashier at Walmart, was busy working her regular shift at number 6 on November 28th. She heard a commotion, then looked up and saw a dog inside the store over by the ice machine. People were trying to catch the dog as it ran around. I said, "It can't be," said Roundtree, who then watched staff members trail the dog as it darted through the aisles. I was like, "What in the world is happening?" said Danielle Robinette, 42, a customer service associate at the Walmart. "I'm a huge animal lover, so I just followed her," and she ran up to register number 6. It was Abby. A shocked Roundtree spotted the prominent patch of white fur around her snout and neck. "I called her name and she came to me," Roundtree said. "I bent over and hugged her. I completely lost it. I couldn't speak. I was in complete shock and I just couldn't believe it." Aww. Aww. Yeah, that poor puppy looks real stressed out. He's like, "I just need to run. Oh my gosh." I wonder how they actually got him. So the dog just ran straight to the owner, or as the confused staff surrounded her and her long-lost dog, Roundtree embraced Abby in silence for several minutes. She looked up with tears streaming down her face and said, "This is Abby. She's been missing for 3 weeks, Robert said. I was just floored." "I can't express the feeling," Roundtree said. "All these people were there around the dog and I couldn't even talk to them." Robinette started snapping photos of the improbable reunion and shared them on Facebook. Her post quickly went around social media, amassing more than 9,000 shares. Roundtree said she had no idea where Abby had been for the past several weeks or how she managed to track her human at work. "Never in a million years did I think she would show up at Walmart," Roundtree said. Aww, so cute. Now she got a little brand new collar. Oh, very nice. She had imagined a reunion, but it was always that Abby would be waiting in front of her house when she came home from work. Roundtree has worked at the Walmart about 1.5 miles from their home for 10 years. Abby had never been inside the store, though Roundtree had brought her to the parking lot and woods behind the store several times. How she knew I worked there, I do not know. Clive Wynn, a psychology professor, author, and director of Canine Science Collaboratory at Arizona State, offered his professional perspective on the reunion. Wow, this just keeps going. All right. So she wasn't skin and bones, Roundtree said, reinforcing that she believes somebody must have been feeding Abby in the time she was gone. "I want to thank whoever she came up upon that gave her something to eat. Where Abby went or what she did while missing is still not clear, nor is how she managed to make her way to the Walmart. But the unusually cold weather could have been a factor, as she might have been seeking a warm respite." Respite? Repri? I don't know. We kid at work that she must have known the weather was going to turn and wanted to find her way back so she could have her warm bed. Coco had just been lost and heartbroken without her. Oh, she's got another puppy named Coco. Abby's younger dog sister was apparently heartbroken when she went missing. Now that dogs have reunited, she's back to her old self. Aww. Then after a hearty meal, Abby went straight to her bed, curled up and slept. It's really just unbelievable. That's a nice, heartwarming story. Love it. Love it. Okay, so that's a good heartwarming story to start the day off with. All right, I do have one more article. I want to know your opinion. All right, so I think I brought this up a couple of weeks ago, and the feedback was kind of fuzzy because it is kind of a harder situation. Now, my question is, should we be doing this? Okay. Should people in general be doing this? Because where am I? Hello. Because what a lot of people are doing is taking dogs from meat markets and bringing them back to the U.S., putting them in foster homes and trying to adopt them out. And my question is, should we be doing this? Okay. So the title of this is from York Daily Record. And the title of the story is 4 dogs destined for slaughter in South Korea are looking for good central PA homes. Ooh, excuse me. So it's been a long journey for 4 dogs of the York County SPCA. One destined to be part of South Korea's, once destined to be part of South Korea's meat trade. The canines are up for adoption starting today. The rescue story began in October when the Humane Society International took 200 dogs out of the meat farm in South Korea, according to Stephen Martinez, executive director of the York County SPCA, who tells the story of their journey. So this looks like it's the 200 dogs. Yeah, 200 dogs as they were transported from South Korea in a cargo plane. Why? The first thing that comes through my mind, you know what? I want you to form your own opinion first, and I don't want to influence your opinion with mine. Okay, so I'm going to read the story first. You're going to tell me what you think, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. Okay, I don't want to influence your opinion. I don't want to make you biased before I say anything. Okay. All right. So the dogs then quarantined for 2 weeks at a military base in South Korea due to coronavirus protocol. After flying to the United States, they spent about a week in Virginia decompressing and then headed to York to continue therapy and address health concerns. The dogs, as they were housed in a farm in South Korea. So I guess this is a dog farm. It looks like a lot of people who have dogs up in the Iditarod, where they do like sled dogging and stuff. Other than it's not freezing cold. Martinez described the conditions the dogs were kept in as isolated from human contact in small cages with dirty water. The spirit of the dog surprised Martinez. You would assume that when they get to us, they would be feral, like completely feral, and some of the dogs were, but then there are other dogs that are just completely sweet and kind and just naturally resilient. I don't know about being resilient. I would think it's more about genetics and or maybe upbringing somewhere. Even though they were kept in isolated conditions with no love or attention, they still immediately turn around and lean on us and start wanting affection, Martinez says, which, I think is probably less common than what they're making it out to be. Since the dog's arrival in New York, the Manchester Township Shelter has been working on the dog's unique challenges. They're isolated from the beginnings of their life, so they just didn't have any interaction with anything at all, Martinez explained, adding, all of their experiences here are for the first time. 4 of the 9 dogs that arrived in New York are ready for adoption today after much hard work socializing them. Several others are works in progress. Their mixes are breeds we often don't see in shelters in the U.S., according to Martinez, like Tosa, Jindo, and Samoyed. The 4 dogs up for adoption today are named Angela, Lola, Baron, and Mark. They have personalities described as playful, timid, and wanting attention. And this is supposedly the Samoyed. Looks more like a Samoyed Chihuahua, if you ask me. According to Kelly O'Meara, a Humane Society International Vice President, although most people in South Korea don't regularly eat dog meat and support for a ban is growing, there remains thousands of farms of all sizes across the country where dogs of all breeds endure a harsh experience. Yeah, so there's actually a lot of westernization of South Korea going on. A lot of the younger people in South Korea are very, very vocal about not eating dogs in the meat trade and are completely against it. So, all that stuff is currently happening. Is currently happening in that country. And there are 29 photos about adoptable pets. Oh, this is just general dogs and animals that are up for adoption, not just the meat trade dogs. So the Manchester Township Animal Shelter has formed an ongoing partnership with Humane Society International, along with other shelters around the United States, to help train and provide loving homes for a few of these dogs in central Pennsylvania. It's another way to highlight the awesomeness of York County. The Humane Society shows knows that when an animal comes to our shelter, we're going to find it a good long-term home. You can make an appointment and apply to adopt one of the dogs at ycspca.org. Okay, so what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think? You guys are so quiet. Should we be, I know you're here. Don't let me talk to my office wall, right? Let's discuss this article. Should we be importing dogs that were destined to the meat trade into the U.S.? Is yes or no? I don't want to tell you my opinion yet. I don't want to tell you my opinion. Tell me. Tell me yours first. Come on. You're happy the dogs were able to be saved. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of dogs that need help everywhere. Right. What do you think? And Kelly says, I have a problem with sticking our nose in. We have a lot here to deal with. Yeah, I agree with you in that. I'm glad the animals are being taken care of. I am fully aware that the Humane Society does this stuff as a way to market themselves and get to bring awareness to their services so that they can increase their own fundraising. I think this is primarily where the motivation comes from with larger organizations who do this kind of stuff. I'm absolutely sure there's a lot of smaller organizations that also do this, and maybe it's all that they do because they're actually really passionate about it. But when I see a bigger rescue organization doing this and having, stuff at the York Daily Record, right? It's a marketing ploy to do this kind of stuff. The other issue I have with it is that it's 200 dogs, right? So, Laura, hey, she says, I don't think we should be importing these dogs. We have more than enough in our shelters. Plus, this would be like people in India trying to rescue cows from the U.S. Laura, you just hit it on the head there. You just hit that on the head, isn't it? That's a beautiful analogy. That's a perfect point, right? Nada says, where the dogs being sent here for customers to buy and cook at home. There are a lot of people from there that still like to hold their traditions here in the U.S. No, they were not. That was specifically in the meat trade from South Korea. Whether or not they actually are allowed to ship dogs here, I don't think so. I don't think that's a thing. Right, Kelly? That's perfect. Laura, you hit it on the head. So, I do agree, right? We already have so much stuff that we're doing over here. Yes, it's sad that the other dogs were there, but they're like our cows here. Do we like to see a cow's head on a platter on the dinner table? No, we would find that very disturbing, but we eat burgers all the time. Come on. So yeah, I think you just summed it up really nicely, Laura. Like, I don't know what else to say after that. You really nailed that one. In addition to that, a lot of these dogs, I know in a lot of cases they try to screen personality of these dogs so they can actually fit into homes over here. Obviously, like the article was saying, that doesn't always happen, and you need people who are really well versed in behavior and have a really good training skill set for these dogs. I guarantee you're not going to have 200 of those people that you can put these dogs in homes with. So, like, you're just adding on so much for these resources that that just don't exist. Just don't exist over here. Nada says we can ship cow meat to other countries. Yeah, okay. All the time in the city. My ex lives in is a meat packing plant where he works. They package lower grade beef to ship to Japan, China, and Korea. Right, but they sell those in markets. They don't even sell dog meat here in the U.S. I think it's actually illegal to sell dog meat here in the U.S. Don't quote me on that, but I've been to a lot of Asian markets and there's no dog meat. There's no dog meat. So I do like my Asian markets, though. They do have good food, although you know, we'll stay away from the dog. All right, so I want to bring this back. I'm going to X out of that, and we're going to jump into Reddit. So again, first warning, only warning. If you have not been on Reddit before, Reddit is the place where everybody conglomerates to post things on the internet. It's a giant chat board, so all kinds of people, places, things, and topics are posted out on here. There is a lot of not safe for work content, although I do try to filter that out because this is an animal related show. So this is if you have sensitive ears, if you have sensitive eyes, leave now. If there is somebody in the house where you are currently sitting, leave now. Put your headphones on, go into another room. Because here we go into Reddit. All right, here we go. So we have 3 subreddits here today. We really only have time for 1 or 2. We have Nature is Metal. We have subreddit Aw, which is all things cute, furry, and fuzzy. And we also have Aw, they're so stupid. Animals being derps. And I think honestly, after our previous dog story, we need some animal being derp subreddit time. All right. Okay, so derp limit reached. Mistakes were made. And I can see there's 3 dogs in this. And one's probably about to break a hip. Okay, so yeah, I do love the derp face, though. I do love that. Oh, who's this cutie? I got up to pee in the middle of the night, and my Coco was sleeping when I got out of the bathroom. She was behind the door waiting me to go back to bed. Yeah, that describes Reaver pretty well. If I go somewhere, if I go to the bathroom, he's right there. Can't tell me your dogs don't do it. You can't tell me that because I know what happens with you. A friend's rabbit decided to yawn when I was taking this pic. Okay, I don't know why, but I love guinea pig yawns. Oh, this is very zoomed in. Hold up. There we go. I love guinea pig yawns. And I know this is not a guinea pig, but it looks very similar to a guinea pig when they yawn. This is fact. So I love that. That's very cute. It also could just be this looks like it could be one of those paintings that you paint by numbers, doesn't it? Like there's the shade and then you can just, it's a paint by numbers. All right. Oh no. Oh no, cat. Oh, it stopped. Poor old dog. Poor old doggy. Go on. Whine some more. Super cute. All right. He tried his best. Oh. What was that even? What is that? You throw a ball, your dog looks at it and falls over. I don't understand. Oh, I don't understand. Yep. Just a happy lab. Mom and dad are home. By the way, can you guys hear this? I'm not sure. Your dog pushes your cat off the bed. Yeah, absolutely. I swear that my dog sometimes tries to push me off the couch. And he's only maybe 25 pounds now? Oh my God. Yeah, if you guys can't hear this, you're missing out on a lot. What is going on? Oh my God, that's adorable. Oh my God, that is so cute. Look at him. Oh my God. This makes my heart happy. I mean, that's appropriate playing with the Christmas tree. Wouldn't you say? puppy needs to get out. Hold up. Hold up. Keep watching this cat. I want to let him out and let the boyfriend take him out. Are you sad? Oh, go see him. Where's the cat? Go get him. All right. Okay. Awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh, that is the cutest. And Kelly says we're putting up our tree today. Will be interesting with Priya. Right. We're actually putting our tree up today too. Oh, and by the way, I didn't get to show you guys this. Happy non-contingent reinforcement day. This is from Behavior Man. Hey, dog. You're supposed to be upstairs. What happened? Is Dad bringing in the tree? I think he might be bringing in the tree right now. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is from Behavior Man. Fantastic for all you behavior nerds out there. I thought my pups would mess up the tree, but doesn't go near it. Yeah, I think he might be more interested in checking it out, especially being a puppy. All right, so that is actually all we have time for today, guys. I am extremely happy that every single one of you got to make it today. And I hope you guys are going to be having a great rest of the weekend. As a reminder, for those of you who are in the group Service Dog Prep, I will be going live Tuesday. Oh, no, wait. I will not be going live Tuesday night because that is our workshop week. Starting tomorrow, it's going to be our brand new renovated workshop for all things related service dogs. We'll be teaching your dog how to settle automatically without a cue, or without a verbal cue, should I say. Everything's a cue. We'll be teaching your dog to focus on you automatically without a verbal cue, and without having to constantly nag your dog to get their attention, to leave things alone, and they're just going to work for you like they're supposed to work for you. And of course, for everybody that is already in the Unstoppable Service Dog program, you already are seeing these results and you are already crushing it with everything that you do. And Kelly, yes, that's you, because I saw you were posting about how good Priya was the other day for all of your appointments. And I'm so very proud of you guys. You're doing fantastic. Keep the work up. And I will be keeping track of you guys as we continue on. All right. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys all have a great week that's coming up. I know I'm going to be busy as heck. So I hope you guys have a great one, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.